The blood moon has risen, taking Lunar New Year's place as Dead by Daylight's annual spring event and offering a new blood-soaked experience for all who dwell in the fog. There's never been a better time for earning blood points than right now. So today, I'm going to give you all the context leading up to the Blood Moon event's introduction, then we'll cover everything you need to know for Blood Moon 2025, before finally talking tips to maximize our blood point profits. What is the Blood Moon event? Much like the season in which it occurs, the Blood Moon symbolizes rebirth within the entity's realm. Spring is all about warmth and color slowly returning to the world, bringing nature back to life after months of hibernation. It's a beautiful time of year, for anybody without allergies or pressure sensitivities. As is typical of things within the entity's domain, however, spring takes on a more twisted and sinister meaning. In a prison of suffering like the fog, the only vibrant colors returning are the deep reds of blood. The rising of the blood moon signifies change and growth within this cruel reality, and the entity's definition: more trials, more suffering, more blood. Beginning in 2024, the Blood Moon event was designed to become the best time of year for earning blood points. By completing the community challenge, players unlocked a 5x blood point multiplier in every trial, no offerings required. This year's iteration offers the same effect, but with a completely new gameplay mechanic tied to progressing the community challenge. Last year, if you remember, we deposited blood droplets into blood basins to create blood zones, all with the goal of collectively depositing 35 million droplets to unlock the 5x multiplier. Once unlocked, that multiplier stayed active for the remainder of the event, which ended up being around 10 days. 10 glorious days of grinding, made better by the usage of anniversary cakes and bloody party streamers to push that multiplier past 10x in some trials. Or at least they should have been. But without any hints towards the new event until 9 months after the 7th anniversary, nobody knew to save their stack offerings, and so nobody did. The 5x was still nice, but it felt like a missed opportunity even in the moment, one that had me looking forward to this year's event since the beginning of last year's. This time around, we're prepared. Everybody has cakes set aside for the final tier of the community challenge, and behavior knows it, proven by the blood point cap being raised specifically for this event's duration. They're raising the stakes, and if we want the 10x multiplier we've been waiting all year for, the goal is 50 million. Collectively, we'll need to kick or complete 50 million blood generators before the event ends on April 29th. What are blood generators? They're the new gameplay mechanic I mentioned earlier, which means it's time we talk about everything you need to know for this year's Blood Moon event. Returning to blood webs are the Bloodshot Eye offering and Blood Sense map item. The Blood Sense map is just a rainbow map plus empathy in a coup skin, while the offering is technically making its debut since it was disabled last year. The Bloodshot Eye can only be equipped in the Blood Moon game mode, and burning it will double all blood point gains tied to the hidden event category. This can be earned by doing tasks related to the event, more on that in a minute, finally being followed by the community challenge multiplier being applied post-game to all 5 categories. In every trial, 4 of every 7 available generators are replaced with blood generators, while the 3 remaining, along with all the hooks, become roped and bloody veins. In stark contrast to themed generators from events in the past, not only do blood generators have a completely new and unique method for repairing them, but they also aren't considered generators in the context of perks and killer powers. This means survivors don't receive skill checks while repairing blood generators, killers whose power interact with regular generators are flat out nerfed, killers with special items are flat out buffed, and neither side can benefit from any perks which interact with regular generators in any way. This includes, but is not limited to, aura revealing perks, repair buff perks, slowdowns, and gen completion perks, completely nullifying meta-shaping perks like Pain Res, Ruin, Pop, Deja Vu, Flashbang, Blast Mine, and Bardic Inspiration. Add to that killers like Plague not being able to vomit on blood gens, Houndmaster only being able to send Snug to 3 of the 7 generators, or most egregious, Unrio's videotapes forcing you to ignore them entirely, lest you risk becoming fully condemned and dying with 0 hooks. It's weird, to put it simply. Behavior is testing out what a chase-focused meta would look like by temporarily removing over half the normal generators in every trial. And as much as it sucks to say, this event really might just be a skill issue for some people. If you aren't confident in your looping capabilities, this is the perfect time to learn and improve. So let's get into how to actually participate in the event and what the flow of a Blood Moon trial typically looks like. Spawning around the map, you'll now find blood pumps. These can be interacted with by survivors and used to fill blood cans, a new special item exclusive to this event, similar to snowballs and smoke grenades from the winter and Halloween events of the past. While filling a blood can, survivors are shown the aura of the closest blood generator, an effect that will linger for 10 seconds after letting go of the pump. Moving with a blood can at all makes loud sloshing noises which keen killers will pick up on, and running with a blood can makes louder noises and also causes the blood to leak out slowly from the can, leaving behind a long-lasting blood trail. Blood pumps will slowly refill over time, visible by the large tanks of blood on either side of the pump. Blood cans can be refilled, but will disappear once fully drained of their contents. They can also be placed on the ground by survivors, but will slowly leak over time. Placing a blood can on the ground reveals its aura to all survivors with unlimited range, but comes at the risk of being kicked over and emptied by the killer. After successfully transporting a blood can to a blood generator, the hard part's done! Simply pour the blood out of the can and into the generator and watch as the pistons start to pump away, all without triggering any pesky skill checks. Fully repairing a blood generator takes slightly over 2 full blood cans. Oh my fucking god! So collaborating with your teammates is the only way to avoid multiple trips to the pump. Once you repair all available blood generators, all pumps will become blocked and all cans will disappear for the remainder of the trial. After this happens, there's currently no way to continue gaining blood points within the event category. That's everything you need to know to play this event, but if you're like me and aren't satisfied unless you're maximizing your earnings, stick around because that's what we're getting into next. The event category is currently limited in 2 ways. How many blood points can be gained from specific score events, and an overall limit to our blood points in the Blood Moon category. After reading through the event's description, there's this line about things changing as the blood continues to flow, and I'm hoping that this is Behavior's way of cleverly telling us that the current cap of 25,000 within the Blood Moon category will increase once the final tier is unlocked. In my own testing, assuming that second limit is completely removed by event's end, theoretically we could earn up to around 100,000 blood points specifically in the event category, before applying any multipliers. Realistically though, let's assume it doesn't increase and stays capped at 25,000. How many blood points we earn in the Blood Moon category is then directly added to the sum of the 4 emblems, which would make the theoretical maximum earnable in a trial 65,000 blood points, before finally applying the sum of every multiplier. Incentives plus offerings plus event. Let's walk you through some tips on getting as close to that number as we can. 25,000 in the Blood Moon category on Survivor without using the Bloodshot Eye is probably impossible. So let's just assume your average trial during the event sees you earn 20,000 from regular emblems. Maxing out all 4 categories at 10k is difficult enough, even in non-event trials, so having a separate category which maxes out at 25,000 means that's where majority of your blood points will come from as we continue moving towards our goal. Right now, you should be burning cakes and streamers if you have an abundance. The anniversary event is right over the horizon, so unless you have enough cakes stashed away to get you there, saving them for when we hit the final tier is your best bet. If that's you, don't worry, it's me too. The best thing besides that for us to be burning is the Bloodshot Eyes. Maxing out that 25,000 Blood Moon category is key, so unless you feel like playing Killer where it's undeniably easier to do so, Bloodshot Eyes are a necessity. The 3 score events within the Blood Moon category for survivors are as follows: Gathering Blood, Blood Fueled, and Blood Red Repairs. I'm hoping this is addressed in an upcoming hotfix, but currently the Blood Red Repairs score event is only awarded to survivors who finish repairing the blood generators, meaning if you dump 2 full blood cans but don't finish it, you get nothing. Seeing as this score event grants 2,500 while the other 2 score events grant 100 at most, it can certainly be frustrating to miss out on rewards for your contributions. One tip I can give is to keep track of your teammates on the Survivor HUD and pay attention to the progress on their blood gens. Once they're nearing completion, you can run over and join for the last half second of filling to get the full reward without putting in any effort. As for the other 2 score events, letting nearby teammates complete generators alongside you is courteous, as there's nothing you can do to increase your gains from fueling blood generators. Pumping, however, is a different story. Each pump can hold up to 3 full blood cans, and the amount of blood points you earn when pulling from the pumps directly correlates to how much blood you remove. This means if you empty the pump into 3 cans one at a time, you'll gain the maximum 100 blood points from this interaction 3 times. It also has the benefit of showing your teammates where you are, where a pump is, and what nearby blood generators you might be focusing on. Your teammates can then choose to run over, grab a can, and top it up before joining you in your efforts. With the event being so much more interactive for survivors, you might expect killers to be compensated in some way. If that's you, good intuition. The Blood Moon category is significantly easier to max out for killers, as there's 5 different score events that they can earn from, and they all grant much higher earnings overall. So let's take a stab at farming from the killer's perspective. First off, you don't have to farm if you don't want to. I'm choosing to let all survivors live and instead focus on 8 hooks to maximize my earnings, and you don't need to play that way if you don't want to. With that little disclaimer out of the way, here's the score events available to killers during the Blood Moon. Blood on your hands, Blood Moon hooks, Damage Blood Generator, Spill It, and Caught Ya. You're able to earn up to 10,000 blood points from each of these, meaning there's lots of different ways to slowly add towards that total. Maxing out the 25,000 in the event category is almost routine if you're burning a bloodshot eye, and not very difficult at all if you aren't. Spilling blood cans and hooking survivors are the easiest and quickest ways to earn, as they reward 2,500 blood points each, followed next by hitting survivors carrying blood cans, which awards 1,000. Kicking blood generators then awards 500 blood points, while grabbing survivors off of event objectives earns 300. Keep an eye out for opportunities to earn with all of these score events, and you'll be cruising to that 25,000 cap in no time. Beyond that, how you earn your blood points in the other 4 emblems depends entirely on who you're playing. Killers which primarily damage with their power, like Ghoul or Legion, are great examples because they can quickly max out their deviousness emblem with little effort. However, any killer you're comfortable with will do the trick, as the overall flow of a trial remains pretty similar. For tips specific to your killer of choice, you're gonna have to ask your favorite killer mains, because there's probably 36 different videos I could make about that question, and I've got cooler stuff in the works. If you made it this far, don't forget to kick that subscribe button so you don't miss more breakdowns like this one. I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, take care out there in the fog.